I'm going to go ahead and record this for those who are not able to join today. And I am super excited to get our kickoff meeting started today. New Year's is 3 days away, so we are starting strong with a plan today with an action step for this week to get you started so you are already entering the new year with the tools, the tips, and the tricks you need to align with your goals. So we'll just give it one more moment. Looks like the rest of the girls are trickling in. Those who are not able to make it will have the replay sent out, like I said, and we'll be able to revisit. We are going to have these calls on Sundays as these are the best times to really meet and to go over our goals for the week. I'm going to have specific calls, themes for every week, just things that are going to be super helpful to learn, to process. Because one thing that we know when it comes to setting goals and doing something like this is we want to be able to digest everything every single week versus bombard you all in one week. This is a lifestyle for a reason. So we're going to be sustainably adding in different key themes every week. And then I am going to have a question and answer portion at the end of the call. And I'll have that included in our next email. So if you have any pre-planned questions that you've been thinking about or things that you've really been wanting to know that we can do a deeper dive in, these calls are for you. My whole goal with this challenge is to provide you 6 weeks of structure, 6 weeks of a real plan, a formula, and giving you the accountability to work with me in EverFit, to be able to have something to tangibly work through, and to have these calls. So, every week you are accountable to these calls to show up, showing up for this hour, dedicating this hour of your time to know every single week you are taking one huge step towards your fitness and your wellness goals. All right, we are at the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and get started with our call today. So, today we are going to go through just an overview of what the next 6 weeks are going to look like together. We're going to really start working on our foundation building. What are you going to be creating? What habits, routines, mindset shifts that you're going to be planting today in this call that's creating the foundation that you're going to be using well after the 6 weeks. My whole goal with this 6 week challenge is to give you that month and a half of structure, creating your special formula, as I like to call with my one-on-one clients, because every woman is made differently. Every woman is in a different stage of their life. So we want to make sure that we are using wellness to create your special formula so that you can carry on these tools into the next rest of the year. Because New Year's resolutions, as I have been mentioning a lot on my social media, I personally do not set resolutions because in the past, resolutions, and this is from the majority of the women that I've worked with, just the history of resolutions, we set this really high ambitious goal and we don't really have any type of plan or execution how we're going to actually achieve that goal. And then we go all or nothing. We hit that perfectionism mindset. We're going to go all in, cut all these carbs out, cut all these things out. So we hit this goal and then life happens. And then we kind of have to backtrack. And then all of a sudden we are off that routine. And that goal we had is very far-fetched. So we're going to do the opposite in our 6 week challenge. We are going to create a foundation that you can build on and gradually create so that at the end of the 6 weeks, not only have a tangible routine that you're doing every single day, you have a routine that fits for your lifestyle so that you can add on to it and keep creating versus get stuck in that self-sabotaging start, fail, quit cycle. We want to remove that cycle. We're creating new cycles here today. Okay. And then we're going to be creating your identity because, again, identity is huge when you want to change your life. Whatever phase of life you're going through, you are allowed to change who you are and what you want to be at any point in time. So, identity shift is huge because you want to identify as somebody who follows through on their commitments they make, who shows up every single day to their wellness goals and becomes somebody who is very confident and believes in themselves. And again, you can use this method to carry you through for the rest of the year. So I want to take a moment and just share my story, again, what I do in my coaching world, in the elevated youth space, and what my mission and goal is for every woman that comes into our world. For years, I played the battle of that yo-yo dieting. I went all or nothing. I thought I had to eat like a bodybuilder, chicken, rice, broccoli, just things that really were not appealing to me with absolutely no room for balance. And I was kidding myself and going as fast, as hard as I could. And I started realizing that I did not like what I was doing. I didn't like the routine I'd made. I was following a very strict way of living, and it caused me to completely just walk away from this lifestyle for a few months, if not almost a year. And my turning point came from when I realized that I don't need to create this all or nothing mindset where I have to get rid of all of the things I like to do. I have to go all or nothing. I have to become something completely different. I just needed to make a mindset shift and a lifestyle that's going to support where I was in life and where I wanted to be and not put this really quick timestamp on it. We all get in that mindset of the quick fixes, right? We want to quickly see that success. We want it right there in front of our eyes, but then we don't realize we haven't created the systems to maintain that success, which is ultimately why we sometimes go back and we don't succeed in the weight loss or the lifestyle changes because we made too many quick changes that weren't sustainable, and then we don't know what to do from there. So, what I want to do and what my mission statement is to help women create lasting change in their bodies and their mind without the restriction, without the burnout, without starting over constantly. Because on our minds, when we commit to something, we have a goal in mind, and we actually show up and we do the things every day, we start creating self-trust in ourselves. We start believing in ourselves. We start thinking, wow, I had a goal and I'm actually following through, and here's how I'm doing it. And now I'm building self-confidence. So I'm going to apply that to something else in my life I've been wanting to do. The contrast to that is having a goal, not accomplishing it, and having this repeated cycle of start, stop, finish. And that is a cycle I want to break with every woman I work with. We all go through it. We all have a mindset that is in some way and doctrine of that way. And we're just trying to make a sustainable lifestyle that can carry you through years after this 6 weeks. And I have this phrase I like to use, and it's one that's not always fun to hear, right? It's never fun to hear the small silent work is the way to get to your goals, but it is the truth. And that is how I've been able to sustain everything that I do every single week, right? The meal prepping, the workouts, the mindset routines, the things that I do to just evolve into a woman that I'm proud of. Is that I make the sustainable change, and they start with the small, consistent steps, but not perfect steps, because I would be lying if I sat here and told y'all that I'm perfect all the time. I am not. I am a human. I am going through different life phases. Things change, things happen, and sometimes I'm not perfect in who I want to be. But the key is I keep showing up. I don't give up on myself, and I allow myself room for error, knowing that I can get right back on my plan. Okay? So you are here, right? You are here because you are tired of the suck cycle, the quick fixes, the burnout, the starting over every few months once you get that burst of energy of like, okay, life has settled down. I think I'm ready to start getting back in the gym, right? We don't want to go through that. We want to start implanting these little seeds of like, okay, we're going to go to the gym twice a week this week. We're going to walk every day. We're going to start meal prepping one meal. You see, making digestible changes, because again, when we make all these big changes because we're really motivated and we're really hyped up, it's New Year's, it's the best time to really change everything. We change way too much. And on top of it, we have people in our lives, families, spouses, social commitments, and we expect for everyone else to kind of hop on our train, when in reality, we have to be able to be realistic with how to change our lives, and it does take that small adjustable changes. You may be here because you've tried countless diets or workout plans and you weren't able to stick to it. So you're struggling to find time and you are struggling to find motivation in a busy season of life. And one piece of advice I was given from a coach years ago, and this was for a business mindset, but I use it for a fitness mindset: there is no right time. There is never a right time to get started on your fitness goals because we always put things off. And I like to think about a rule, like a 5 second rule. If I have an idea that comes in my mind, I get inspired action of like, hey, we should go to the gym. I don't let myself hesitate because I'll talk myself out of it and be like, oh, you know what? We'll go tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and then we go the next day, and then there's a birthday, and then we're going out of town, and then it's the next Monday. So we are here to not make your routine even harder, but to find ways to enjoy this lifestyle so that it's not a hard adjustment, but we're finding what works for you. Because again, I'm not here to tell y'all what's worked for me and to make it fit your lifestyle. I'm here to give you the tools, to give you the structure, to give you the workout plans, the meal plans, the tracking systems, help you with the identity shifts, with the mindset works we do every week on these calls, and to ultimately be your coach for the next weeks to get to know you and get to make that perfect formula to say, here's what you're going to do after our 6 weeks together, and teach you the key components for developing discipline. Because motivation, we don't use that word here. I don't like to use the word motivation because it is emotionally fleeting and it'll come and it'll go. It'll come and it'll go. Discipline is what's going to be that steady train that just you do it, you do it, you do it. Just like going to work, right? We got to do it. We got to go to work every day. We got to show up. We got to be accountable. And sometimes I like to think about my workouts and my meal planning as appointments. They are appointments to myself. Because at the end of the day, you are your top priority. How you take care of your body is how everything else in your life is going to follow suit. So the more that you're investing in your health and your wealth and your mindset, everything else is going to start benefiting from that. And the same is true if you're not doing that. Everything else kind of is reflective of that, okay? So we are here to build a sustainable way to build confidence, strength, and energy without overwhelming and restricting your way of living at this moment, okay? So with the workout plan, let's start with here. So all of you have received an invitation to join EverFit. And based off some of the women that have joined, I kind of know you, so I know kind of what your goals are. A lot of weight loss focus, a lot of movement focus, a lot of getting in the gym focused. And let me tell you, this is the best time to start going to the gym. I know we're going to have that New Year's rush coming in, but here's the thing, more than likely, most people are going to start working out at the gym at this time, friends, family. But the difference is you're going to have a plan written by me. You're going to have a real workout routine with my app to say every single week, Tara's got my workout plugged in and she's got it, what's going to help me with the goals that I really want to accomplish. So, again, we are not making your workout plan something that is unattainable, overtraining you, and burning you out at the end of the 6 weeks. My goal is to create a plan that you're going to stick to, things that you've either done in the past because I've worked with you or I know you and I know what you're looking for. I'm giving you that plan, but I'm making it accountable so that when you're logging your workouts, I'm seeing it, right? I'm right there. You can leave comments. You can say, "Hey Tara, this was really good. I think I could do another ab exercise." Or, "Hey Tara, I love this lower body day. Maybe I up the reps here." That's what these are for. And you are getting customized workouts from me, which is something my one-on-one coach, one-on-one clients get every single week. So these workout plans are extremely effective. They are meant for you to help you achieve your goals. And not only that, they're keeping you accountable because your EverFit app, it's going to be your best friend. It's going to be how we track together your workouts. And one key thing that I left out in the beginning is I am going to have a $100 prize for the woman who is the most accountable, who has the biggest transformation. So I definitely encourage you. It may feel very uncomfortable, but take some before photos. Take some photos of you to remember where you started December 28th and where you are leaving February 8th. I believe that is the sixth Sunday of the month, this when the challenge closes. And that way you can show me, Tara, look, this is what I did. I lost 10 pounds. My pants fit differently. I was actually able to accomplish achieving that fitness goal. Our workouts are the key. And the great thing is you're going to have the workouts to use for the rest of the year. Okay. So we're going to be having a workout routine. And if you are somebody who primarily works out at home, please message me and let me know that. We can definitely customize them to be more at home. But right now, the majority of the girls that signed up are going to the gym or at least attempting to get back into the gym, have workout regimens. Now you got the structure. Now you got the routine. Now you have the things that I do every single week that have made me achieve my dream body. But not only that, maintain it and to continue to tweak it every single couple of months. I just do that. And that's what you're going to be able to do. And then we're going to be prioritizing movement, okay? I know it's almost January. This is when it gets cold. For the Texas women, we know that this is when it kind of gets maybe icy cold. But movement is very important, especially on the days you're not working out. Because again, I'm not going to have you working out every single day. That is not realistic. And if you get to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're like, hey, I'm hitting my workouts, I'm ready for a fifth day, that's when I get to say, perfect, you've been doing it. Now I know you're ready for it. But daily walking is very important. And it does come down to a timing thing, right? For a lot of my clients that are in office, it is extremely difficult to find time to get up and go on a walk. It's like, Tara, I don't have that capability. That is where we have to find the time, right? Because movement is key. If you want to lose weight, if you want to achieve a fitness goal, you've got to be willing to do things a little bit differently than you're doing right now. And it's not by any means to shift everything in your life and to completely just boop, everything changes. You got to fit 4 more extra hours in to achieve your fitness goals. No. We just want to find time, whether it's before work, maybe it's during your lunch break, maybe you ask a coworker, hey, would you want to go walk here with me for 15 minutes so we can get some movement in? I'm not going to have a step goal right now, but if you would like a target, I would say right now 5K to 7,500 a day. The high overarching goal, 10K, of course. I do 10K a day on the days I work out, especially, or the days I don't work out, especially, because again, movement is key. And movement also helps with our energy, weirdly enough. When we get into a sedentary position, when we're sitting down all day and we're just in this position, our bodies are very tired. They're very, what's the word I'm thinking? They're very stagnant. So it causes more pain, right? Lower back pain, neck pain from looking down with the text neck. I know I'm guilty of that, so I have to really be conscious of it. But just moving your body is going to help your body get into the system of like, hey, we're moving. We are on the goal of losing weight. Okay. So that is going to be our workout plan. Like I said, EverFit is going to be your best friend. We have your first workout starting tomorrow, and we're going to have 3 lifting days and 1 cardio and core day. And on your cardio day, I have a goal of 15 minutes, but again, we are starting at a very just let's get the foot in the door. Let's get the foot started. I'm always going to tell y'all that in the beginning, there's no reason to create these large scaled goals. Let's start small, let's make it digestible. And then once you get through the routine, you're like, Tara, I'm able to walk every Saturday, 15 minutes with your 2 core circuits. I'm doing 20 minutes. Perfect. That's the goal. And I tell a lot of my clients right now, there's a certain hunger that you get, right? I look at our journey like this. You start here, you're super excited, you start going, and then you kind of hit that wall of like, this is getting hard. This is making me have to work really hard to go to the gym every day and wake up and not feel tired and have to do the meal planning and all the prepping, and you get stuck at that wall. But here's the learning curve. When you get past that wall, it's like smooth sailing. And this is something I see with all my clients. It's like my favorite time. I'm like, give me like 4 to 6 weeks of just intentional habits. Just do it every week because you'll get to a point where like your mind is like, oh, this is just our life. This is just what we're doing. And that's how our mind works. So if you think about your life right now, think about things you just do subconsciously. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you drink coffee, hopefully after you have a meal, because that'll be a big goal of ours. You eat breakfast, you drive to work, you call your spouse, you call your friends. That's just things you do. Imagine that being the same thing as your fitness goals. You just do it. You just wake up, you got your gym clothes laid out, you got your water bottle laid out, you feel so good, and you're like, I'm tired, but I've got 5 seconds, let's get in the car. And you do that over and over, and you get over that hump, and then eventually it's like, well, this is just who I identify as. Then you get that hunger of like, I'm ready to go to the gym. Because the best part about working out is it is really good for your mental health. It's really good for confidence builder. It is actually the biggest way that you can build confidence is because you are dedicating yourself to working on your body, to putting in that work every day. And one day that success is just going to show up. But the thing that you gratify from, the thing that you get to have, is that confidence that nobody can take away from you. Nobody can ever take away the fact that you take care of your body, you work out, you meal plan, you do all the things, even though you're tired, even though your friends don't do it, even though your spouse doesn't want to do it. That's the hardest, is when you got everybody else in your life who's like, oh, I'm gonna skip the gym today. I'm really tired. And you're the one that's like, I'm not. I'm going. That's the identity we want to step into because then you don't give up. We don't want to give up. We don't want to plateau. And there is a way, like I said, it's just that mindset shift. And I will always tell you this in every call. Our mind is the most powerful muscle. It is the strongest, most hard-willed, and it's one that you will always work on. Okay, so always keep that in your mind. It's okay to feel like, oh, this is going to be a low curve, but you got two choices. Stay where you are now, which is pre-challenge of maybe you're not happy with where you are, maybe you're not having a routine at all, and you're making a decision to change it. You're making a decision to actually learn and to get the structure and have these calls to be like accountable. Like I've got a call with Tara in our group, and I don't want to miss it because that's my reset. That's my weekly check-in of like, this is why I did this. This is why I'm doing this. And you're going to breeze through January. Everyone else is going to be falling off their plan. You're going to be like, I got a plan and I'm sticking to it. This is how we stick to it. Okay. Now, I want to talk about this phrase I use sometimes, dream body, right? And for a lot of people, it's kind of like, okay, I have a dream body, but I just want to lose this 30 pounds, Tara. I just want to lose this initial weight. Then I can be more specific. But I want to redefine what a dream body really is because for a lot of my clients, the weight goal we have, right? We always establish a weight goal, which is what you're going to be doing too, establishing what's that number in my mind I want to work towards? You have something tangible to be working towards. But a big thing is recognizing that when you're creating your dream body, your goal is to be healthy. So you want to respond to having more natural energy versus slamming down, coffee every day and your body's cortisol is completely wiped. Your nervous system completely wiped. We want to have natural energy by losing weight by accomplishing our dream body. We want to feel confident. We want to feel strong. That's what a dream body means is that you look in the mirror and you don't even look at the scale, right? It's like the scale is there, but that's the byproduct, right? That's the secondary win. The first one is looking in the mirror and saying to yourself for maybe the first time in a long time, I love who she is. I love who I see in the mirror. That's the version of me that I've been dreaming of. The woman who wears that size pants, who looks in the mirror and feels confident in her skin, who walks around with confidence because you created that, okay? And here's some big things that I want you to think about so that we don't get stuck in this negative mindset of like, Tara, I've got a long way to go. Okay, I got a long way to go. It is going to be very difficult for me to look in the mirror for the first time in years and be happy with what I see. It's been a very long time. I want you to love the body you have now while wanting to improve it. When you are grateful for the body you have at this set in time, it is easier to appreciate the journey, right? Because you're not just focused on that weight loss goal. You're like, look, I love who I am right now because she's made me who I am today. She's carried the life I've lived and she has gotten me here today. But I'm also working to improve her. That's going to create some more positive body affirmations, right? A lot of us have body dysmorphia, even me, I hate to admit that the way I look, it's gonna be like, Tara, come on. But when you achieve a certain look and you kind of gain some weight back or things life and change, you can look at yourself and have this very skewed idea of like, "Oh, well, I'm not as skinny as I want to be. I'm not small as I want to be." It's like, be happy with where you are, and that's a gratitude, right? Being grateful for any place you're in, knowing that you can still work to be better. That's a great mindset shift that's going to help carry that positive affirmation throughout the challenge so that you do not talk bad to yourself, okay? Treat yourself as you treat your best friend. You would never tell your best friend some of the things you tell yourself. Remember that. We want to treat our body with love and respect. Setting a vision that includes how you want to feel, not just how you look. So we talked about that. How do you want to feel? You want to get out of your chair and not kind of grunt. You want to be able to get on that long hike with your friends or your family or your dog and not be winded or be like, hey, I need a break. I need to sit down. Or be like, my knees don't hurt anymore. My back doesn't hurt anymore. I have natural energy with my workouts. I don't even drink any type of caffeine in the morning. That's how you want to feel. That's going to be an additional wave of emotion that we're tying into what does it mean to achieve this body? What does it mean for you? It's how you feel, it's how you look at yourself, it's how you talk to yourself. And you're creating goals that are rooted in energy, strength, mobility, and confidence, and not punishment or comparison. We are not going to compare to anyone else on this journey. Never compare to anyone else because we are all in different phases of life. And that's only going to set you back because you're only focused on, well, she's got this and why can't I be like that? That's not how we want to be here, okay? And it's less about aesthetic and more about functional freedom and feeling like your best self every day. I want you to feel every day in this challenge as your best self. I want you to know that the hardest step is starting and you've done that. So all we get to do now is work on where you are. And that's going to lead you to this feeling of like every day you just feel better and better. And that's where we want to be, right? Again, we want to be on this train of like, I feel better, I'm doing better, because that's what's going to make you want to keep going versus every day being like, well, I'm doing it, but I'm not where I want to be. It's like we got to give ourselves some time. We have to create that positive shift. And a lot of it is rewiring our mind. Again, our mind is so powerful and it's so diluted in a certain way of thinking that we think we're conditioned to, but we're not. We just gotta shift it, okay? And this is how we do it with these different types of other elements besides just losing weight and look in a certain way. You want to feel good, okay? And so let's talk about nutrition now. So, with our 6 week plan, you are going to be given a workout plan. And for your meal plan, we're going to have some macro conversations that's going to be best suited for you. So, today you received an email, and there is about three different key elements I want you to be working on for your nutrition this week. Again, if you've never counted macros, if you're very unfamiliar with the process of all the things that nutrition comes in store, because I will tell you this, out of everything in wellness, the hardest thing to do to create your dream body and to create a physique goal is your nutrition. It is the hardest. Absolutely. I'll just tell you all that now so that you get that hump out of the way to think it's not supposed to be easy, because we all eat differently. We've all been eating a certain way. So it's very hard to create shifts in that. So, what we're going to focus on this first week, okay? I want you to start focusing on tracking your food and making sure you're eating at least 20 to 30 grams of protein in every single meal. Okay. That's a digestible plan we can make. And by tracking, that's your accountability. Okay. And one thing I want you to think is the more honest you can be with yourself and me in this journey, the more you're going to get out of it. So if you're like, oh, I'm not going to track because I know what to do, I already know kind of what to do, I'm just going to do it. Track. I track. I still track my food to get my protein goals in, because it's like I can easily fall short. I can easily go overboard. And so it's for me to be like, hey, I want to be super strict and have the tangible proof of what I was doing that helped me achieve my goal. Because the goal is with you tracking your meals every day, with you tracking your protein. When we're getting to the end of this and you're like, dang, I lost 10 pounds. How am I going to do it now? Tara's not here. How am I going to keep doing it? You're going to go back and be like, look, this is what I ate in a week and I lost 2 pounds. So I'm going to do it again and I'm going to do it again. So what we're doing in this challenge is it's not like I'm just giving you stuff and then you're going to forget it all. I'm giving you the ways so that you implant it and you have the historical means to look back and be like, okay, second week of January, I ate all these different meals. I had 150 grams of protein, this many carbs, fats, and I lost weight. So we just need to repeat that and we repeat that. And we're going to go over how to enjoy meal prepping, because y'all know that is my trick, is to make food taste good. But I want y'all to know for this first week, we have a water goal. Try to drink 100 ounces of water a day. I want you to be including fruits and vegetables in your meals, at least one, if you can, a day, getting to one per meal. 20 to 30 grams of protein. And so in our email, I'm going to have those up every Sunday, and it's going to have new ideas for your meal plan. But this first week, let's keep it simple. Let's track. Let's get your protein in, let's get your water in, and let's start including some fruits and vegetables. Next week at our Sunday call, I'm going to do a deep dive, Nutrition 101. I'm going to give y'all the full formula, and we're going to walk through together how to get your macros 100%. We're going to sit here, we're going to go step by step. I'm going to say, hey, here's your starting ground, here's your calories. All right, let's calculate your macros, and you're going to do it on a piece of paper, and then bam, those are your macros. And then I'm going to give you a ton of ideas of meal prepping tips, of mesh recipes you can make. I think everyone here has my cookbook, so thank you all for having that. That's going to have a ton of ideas for recipes, but I'm going to be sending them out too. So this first week, we're just going to focus on creating a foundation in your nutrition, okay? Not restrictive. We don't have to be restrictive on our plan. It's just about adding better things in versus just taking things out. We've got to be having high protein. We've got to be having different forms of carbs like sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, jasmine rice, than just sticking to pastas and breads. We got to start including fruits and vegetables. They are a huge component of losing weight because our body needs those vitamins and minerals. It absolutely needs it. And without it, if we're just basing it off of carbs, it's not going to get enough to really efficiently start digesting efficiently. Which I'm going to get to digestion in a big second, because I want y'all to be monitoring how you're digesting food. It's a huge part of this as well. Okay. When it comes to holistic nutrition, it's including how you eat, what you eat and why you're eating it. So I want you to not only think to yourself, because this is the biggest curve, right? Is being like, I don't want to cut things out. Okay. I don't want to lose this meal. I don't want to stop eating a certain way. I'm not telling you to cut everything out. I'm just telling you that I want to make sure at least we're making smarter choices. If you like to have Diet Coke or if you like to have soda, okay? I'm not going to make you cut out everything. I'm going to tell you instead of having like a meal out with the soda, you can have your soda, but let's cook a meal at home. Let's cook something on the grill. Let's make something with your family. Let's start making those micro shifts there, okay? Because again, if I was going to sit here and tell you to cut everything out, you're probably not going to hang with me, and I wouldn't blame you, quite frankly. I wouldn't be happy either. So I want you to know that we are allowed to make small changes that are still going to work. That's the crazy thing that people think is that if I don't cut all these things out and I just eat 100% clean, that's the only way to do it. But me and my clients are proof that that is not the case scenario. That is a block in our minds, and we are allowed to still have balance. And that is why I use the rule 80%, okay? 80/20. It may seem like a drastic change. So if you're 20% eating at home, 80% eating out, maybe try to go 50/50, okay? Again, the only way you're going to stick this out with me until the very end is that if you make shifts now and don't do too much and make it digestible. One of my clients the other week, it was so great because we were talking about her meal plan, and every week we have a new meal plan for her, new lunches, new dinners. What I would encourage for y'all too, new fresh ideas every week. Just repalette, doing something different. Don't get stuck on something every day. If you don't like it, don't repeat it. Okay, you don't have to be a creature of habit. And she finally told me, she's like, I'm just so used to doing this and I love it now. Like I eat out sometimes and that's fine, but I don't feel as good after, right? Like I just don't feel as good. I feel kind of gross and I feel this way and I prefer to now eat from the meals we make because I don't feel like I'm sacrificing. I just feel like I'm making them at home. So that's our goal, okay? Eating whole foods, having that protein, the balance, the fiber, and just being very mindful, okay? I want to start changing our language. Good and bad are not words we want to use in this challenge, okay? Because we want to make sure we have a neutral mindset towards food. Okay, yes, there are bad foods like the trans fats, sugars, processed foods, but we don't have to label them bad and then label them good. They're just food, okay? Just like anything, too much of a bad thing is a bad thing. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing, okay? So that's why we have balance, right? We have balance because we're not bodybuilders here, okay? We don't have a show we are cutting for. I certainly don't. So I like to enjoy things every now and then, but the trick is I've created a system or every week I'm gonna meal plan because I don't want to order out. Okay, we talk about being honest, right? I'll give y'all my biggest one. I love to order out. I love to eat at home. I used to be a big DoorDasher about 2 years ago. I would DoorDash like every night out of convenience, out of laziness. And what I learned is that was a coping mechanism because I wasn't prepping enough food. So the excuse would be, oh, I didn't prep enough food tonight. Woo, I get to order out. And then I was gaining weight, and then I wasn't feeling good, and then I was also losing money. So it was like a triple effect of like, you're not prepping, Tara, so that's causing you to fall into bad habits of ordering out food. So we've got to catch ourselves and think, this is the way I've been doing things. This is why I do it, because I'm tired. I don't want to go cook food when I get off work. I really don't. I just want to lay on the couch. We've got to set as part-time Saturday, Sunday to say, hey, we need to set aside time to get at least our foods at least planned out, have some things that we can gravitate towards, pre-cooked meat. They don't have to be all together, but just like protein, carbs, veggies, just have them all separated so you can quickly put a meal together in 10 minutes versus 2 hours. Nobody wants to do that, right? We've got to out trick ourselves. So I want you to ask yourself this question right now. What is one habit with your nutrition that is probably not something that has been effectively helping you with eating healthier? I want you to call that out, right? I want you to ask yourself that really tough question. What have I been doing that's really not been helping me? Is it not having food prepped? Is it falling victim to I'm tired after work so you don't feel like cooking the meal that you've already prepped? Is it convenience? Is it I don't know how to make healthy food taste good? Which of those is it? Because once we can identify what's the block between where you are now and how you want to efficiently start cooking food, we can make a plan on how to address it. That's why we're here, right? We're not here to call you out and say, well, that's not going to work here. we're here to say, hey, that's okay. It's okay if, like me, it's like I knew my faults. I knew I liked convenience. That's why I ordered out. I knew what foods I liked. That's why I ordered out. So I learned and I said, all right, how am I going to out excuse myself? I got to meal prep every week. I got to do it. And the good thing is I love meal prepping. I love it because nothing makes me feel more confident than making food, eating the food, and feeling good from my food. Nothing feels better. Nothing feels better. And the great thing is when I do decide to eat out and go get ice cream or go eat out dinner with my friends, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel a lick of guiltiness. I actually feel really good. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I'm excited. I don't feel, yeah, you know what I mean? So, again, with your nutrition, we're going to start small, but I want you to identify what has been your excuse for not really sticking to a meal plan, and we're going to create a plan on how we're going to fix that. Meal planning is going to be your number one, okay? And we're going to remove good or bad. Okay, food is food. We're just going to focus on eating more nutrient dense foods versus calorie dense foods, which are things that don't hold a lot of nutrition, like sodas, quick, easy, not foods that have a lot of nutrients, quite frankly. That's how we're going to identify that. And then let's talk about the mindset and the habit tracking. Okay, so after the call today, after we've gone over everything, I know this is going to kind of be like, whoa, this was a lot of information. I need to digest it. I really want you to ask yourself this idea of what would the version of me look like at the end of this? What routines does she have? Does she have her morning and night routine established? Because we want to have those definitely established. And what habit has she been wanting to accomplish that she's going to focus on for this challenge? Because in the EverFit app, there is a section for tracking habits. So after our call today, I'm going to reach out to everybody and say, hey, what is the habit you want to track for this week and throughout the challenge? And I'll give you some examples. It could be that you want to be reading a book every day to get off your phone. Great, that's what I do. So on your habit tracking, you'd be like, I'm going to make sure I read every day. Wherever you read at, that's fine. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe you're like, I need to connect with who I am. I need to set a better identity. I need to get in tune with myself. I don't even know what goals I have for this year. Maybe it's journaling every day. That's what I do. So journal. If we're thinking like fitness nutrition, you could say, I want to hit my 100 ounces of water a day. Perfect. I want to be moving every day. Perfect. I want to be eating, fruits and vegetables every day. Perfect. So, what the habit tracker does, I will say, maybe it's a hassle, right? Maybe it sucks to open the app and have to track it every day. But I will tell y'all this, Ed, I don't have it right now because I'm not at my house, but every single week I create a to-do list. It is versatility for the self, for my personal self section. It's the same thing every day. It's wake up at a certain time. It's do my skincare. It's make my bed. It's morning movement. It's nutrient dense breakfast with my vitamins. So you see what I mean? It's one thing to create a habit and mentally track it. It's another to have something physical to track because then that's keeping you accountable to say every day, I gotta get on my habit tracker and EverFit, check my workout and check my habit. That's what's gonna make you do it. Because again, for default, humans are lazy. We're lazy, all of us. We're all defaulted to be lazy. We don't like to do things out of our comfort zone. We don't like to change. We're having to change our way of living right now. It doesn't have to be hard. I'm not telling y'all to pick 5 habits, just one. So I want you to think, what is one habit that you can start doing that you've been wanting to do? Maybe it's something you've already been wanting to do. We don't have to make it something that you've never done before. Maybe it's something you want to do. Tell me. We're going to talk about it individually, and then I'm going to set it up in your habit tracker tonight so that every day on the EverFit app, you're checking it off. And again, the goal is at the end of the 6 weeks, it's subconscious. You're just doing it. And that is the biggest goal, right? With everything we've talked about today, with everything that we're doing, we want to create a new subconscious way of being. Like I said, right now, it just may be waking up, making coffee, getting out the door, getting home, go to bed. We want to start adding things in to be like, okay, we wake up and then we also do our skincare. We wake up and we go to the gym. We make our bed. We make a high protein breakfast with our favorite cup of coffee because I'm not going to tell y'all to get rid of that. We go to work. We get some walks in. We get home from work. We heat up our meal and we eat with our spouse, our family, or just ourselves. That's what we're doing here. We're just incorporating little micro things in your day to day that you're just going to start doing. They're just gonna wake up and be like, all right, let's get to it. That's how I've done it. It's seriously the best thing ever, not having to think about these things anymore. We don't need to think about these things. We just need to do it, okay? So the mindset that's going to move you forward. Your mindset's going to shape everything in this journey. So I want you to start with some of these questions and really start getting into the mindset of what is my going to look like in 6 weeks? Okay? Who are you becoming? I want you to ask yourself, who are you going to be becoming? Are you going to be becoming somebody who commits to their goals? Are you going to become somebody who is actually working on their plan and stuck through for the first time? You've committed to a whole a week, a month and a half to 2 months of workouts, and you're going to keep doing it. Are you going to identify as somebody who is losing weight? Are you going to identify as somebody who is making healthier habits and your spouse and your family and whoever you live with is going to be learning from? Because that's what we want to do too. We want to take what we're doing and we want to inspire the people in our lives because it makes it easier. It does make it easier when your spouse, your family, they're kind of in this wave with you because then it's like you're not in this alone. Of course you're not alone because you have us. We're all together here. We're all working together. We're all in this group together to share our wins, to talk about the week to week, to know you have a group. You have me as your coach for the next 6 weeks to be like, hey, Tara, and everyone in my life, they're not really understanding what I'm doing. It's like, that's okay. You're choosing to be better, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, who are you becoming in the next 6 weeks? Who do you want to become? Okay. And I want you to remove the all or nothing mindset. Okay. I don't want you to leave today and think everything in your life has to change because it shouldn't. All we're doing is incorporating better habits, and subsequently, any negative habits will kind of start fluttering away. So, we don't want to have that all or nothing thinking because that's what the New Year's resolution is all about. It's that all or nothing way of being of like, I'm cutting out the carbs, I'm cutting out everything, I'm working out 5 times a week, and if I don't do that, then I failed. Absolutely not. That doesn't work, okay? Unless you're like somebody who can do the I don't, it's just not for everybody. It's not for me either. It's for people who like to do things like 75 hard, who are like hardcore. It's okay if we're not hardcore. It's fitness is a choice. Wellness is a choice. It's a choice to want to do this. Not everybody wants to do this. And I'm really proud of you for being here to want to do this because that means you want to take care of your body. That means you want to feel good in your skin. And again, that's like the number one way to really have a fulfilled life is when you feel so confident who you are. You feel confident to make choices with who you're with where you're going. And that leads you in a very strong route so where nobody can really affect what you want to do. It's very empowering. And we're all about women empowerment here. 100%. We're all here to support each other. And creating rituals, not rules. Okay? Our routine is not meant to be a strigid rule of like if you don't do this, you failed. And it's a rule. That's a chore. And we're all adults. We don't like being told what to do. We just don't. It's okay. Like I don't want to do things that feel like a chore. That's why my routines, like they build me up. They make me feel really good. Like they're not hard. They're things that maybe they're slightly discomforting. Maybe they're things I'm not always enthusiastic about, right? I'm not always enthusiastic to journal every day and be like, diary, here's how I'm feeling, but it's a commitment I made. It's a commitment to myself. It's a commitment to understand myself better. So it's not about creating routines that are based in like a chore mindset of you have to do this or you're gonna fail. Okay. We're not doing that here. We're creating rituals that feel good, that feel make us feel good in our skin, morning routines. I give y'all my best morning routine. I am in the midst of perfecting my night routine, which is reading before bed, drinking magnesium, no TV. I just got a Hatch alarm clock, so I'm totally in my holistic journey of allowing that to slowly put me to bed, and it's great. It's so good for my mental health. That's the biggest thing. And how you talk to yourself. Okay, I want you to leave these 6 weeks and not only understand how your mind kind of how you operate, how you talk to yourself, if you put yourself down, if you have a lot of negative self-talk, I want you to come out of it with some form of understanding of why you talk to yourself that way and a positive way of working through it. And that's why I journal, because more times than not, I just relay my gratitude. Whether you believe in God or the universe or nothing at all, I'm always just being grateful for being alive. And sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes we just need to be reminded that it's a blessing to just get to do this. It's a blessing to just get to live life. when we're so caught up in our minds, our really tough perspectives, when we're in that bubble of like, we're not good enough, we're not doing enough, we're never going to amount to who we want to be, we pull ourselves out of that and we're like, hey, okay, that's not going to lead you to success. That's just going to keep you in that revolving place of doubting yourself. So we want to create a very positive, self-affirming, um, homeostasis place to be in. And that's why for me, journaling helps. Just the way I talk to myself helps. Sorry, I just almost flicked y'all off. Did not mean to do that. Affirmations are very important. When you have a negative thought, immediately being like, hey, I don't agree with you. I love who I am. I love my body, and I'm grateful for this journey. Boom. You just kind of like debunked that negative thought. Because again, we are our worst enemies. So we got to learn how to be cohesive with the mind and our body, with our soul, with our spirit, and then we get to use wellness as the physical tools to get us there, right? Like you don't just build confidence by saying it, I'm confident. Okay. It's hard to believe that, right? That's not really that believable. But when you're working out every week, when you're meal planning, when you're creating a morning routine, when you're journaling, when you have a positive self-talk, yeah, that's your proof. That's the confidence builder. And that's what we're working on here. And I always say wellness is a spectrum. It's not just fitness, it's not just not nutrition, it's not just mindset. It is all of those into one cohesive system where they're all rising you to the next level. They're all taking you to the next place. And that's how you create an identity shift. Okay? So, once you ask yourself, what beliefs about your health do you want to leave behind today? This is kind of a loaded question, but I want you to really digest and ask yourself, what belief do I have about my health that I just want to leave behind? Maybe it's the idea that you can never lose weight or you can never commit to something. Maybe it's this idea that you've never been able to enjoy any meal plan or any workout plan you've done because it's just felt so restrictive that you can't even enjoy it, or it's felt like a chore. You've never been able to enjoy the process. And if you know me, that is a key staple in making this work. You gotta like what you do. You gotta enjoy the process to a level of degree because if we don't, it's a very upward battle. We're fighting ourselves every day. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do this. I'd be lying to y'all if I said I didn't have those thoughts too, but I immediately am like, get your workout outfit on, get your pre-workout and get that playlist going. Get in the car. And 12 times out of 10, when I finish my workout, I'm like, yep, I'm so proud of myself because I didn't want to be here and I didn't want to work out, but I had a great workout. And you just immediately debunk that idea that you have that you don't commit. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself that question. What are you going to leave behind today? We're going to clean the board, and the next time we talk, it'll already be the beginning of the year, which is great because we want to start right now so that when we hit January 1st, Thursday, you're like, I've already established who I want to be in 6 weeks. I've already established the negative ideologies that I've held on to for years that I'm finally ready to address this year and work towards. And a big thing I want y'all to remember, this is a practice, okay? It is a practice. I don't just wake up one day and everything's just, I just believe all these things. It is a daily commitment to practicing, which again may not sound very fun, but what's better is that you're leaving behind the version of you that has never been able to practice and continue to do something because you've always fallen off or you've always left it or dropped it off or you've always had 1,000 things come up. I got this going on, I got this going on, I got this going on. There's always a reason why. We are streamlining through that. We are practicing the arts of taking care of our body, of using wellness as our habits, and creating a very happy ecosystem in our mind, body, and soul that's going to carry us the distance after 6 weeks. My goal is for y'all to take everything we learned together and you to apply it for the rest of the year because that's what wellness is about. It's not about these quick fixes, it's about creating a long-term lifestyle that is going to carry you to the end. Okay? We're creating a mindset that supports our goals. Okay, so you cannot build a dream body with a toxic mindset. You cannot hate yourself to your dream body, I should say. So we want to make sure that discipline's coming from self-respect, not self-shaming. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. That's a great quote that I learned years ago that has been a staple in my morals and my values is how I show up for one thing is how I show up for everything. And that'll really help you align if there's some areas of your life that you're not 100% showing up to this is going to elevate you to make sure that how you do one thing, your fitness, your nutrition, your mindsets, how you show up for your relationships, for your business, for everything. And so, what we need is the practice of the self talk, building confidence, and of tearing you down, affirmations, journaling, visualizations to connect you to your why. Because we're always going to go back to why you did this. We're always going to say, this is why you're doing this. You want to feel good in your skin, so let's keep going. And letting go of the all or nothing thinking. Wellness is flexible. It is not rigid. We get to be fluid with our wellness because it's a lifestyle. I'm not expecting everyone to just lose 100 pounds in 6 weeks, and if you did, we'd have some questions. Okay. And a big thing too, which we've already kind of hit on, just designing your lifestyle around wellness. It's not about making the big changes, just short-term fixes. You don't have to realign your whole life and rebrand your life. I think that's very popular right now on social media of you're rebranding your life and it's like girls that have face masks on and they're sitting in their bed like doing their Pinterest board. Whilst I agree with that, we're not trying to just completely rebrand your life. We're just aligning daily habits with who you want to be. And it's really as simple as that. Let's keep it simple. Let's just keep it really simple. We're creating daily habits to align you who you want to be. And do's and don'ts, that'll be helpful. We're creating weekly routines by having your workout plan already established, having your meals already established. A lot of y'all have already been tracking meals in Everfit, so keep doing that. Keep posting meals. I'm gonna have emails sent out and different meal plans, recipes that y'all can utilize. So just be looking for those this week. But remember, focusing on your protein goals, your water goals, and getting fruits and veggies in just to start. Set boundaries with your time and energy. Say no to things that drain you, yes to things that fuel you. That's a really good one to focus on. Building an environment that supports you. So, again, you have me for the next 6 weeks as your community, as your person to talk about wellness with, to talk about different things that we can do together to create this system. And a lot of times, I hate to say it, not everyone in our life is going to support these things. So, we just have to gravitate towards people who understand, who are in this same boat, who want to work on themselves and really flood our environment with really positive and support to what our goals are. And don'ts, we just said this, we're not overhauling our life in a whole week. So that's why we have one habit. Okay. We have one workout routine and we have goals with our nutrition, but they are not overhauling by any means. They're just really good plans to start doing. Don't say yes to everything. If you feel the pressure of saying yes all the time for certain reasons, protect your time and energy like they're a part of your wellness routine. And that's why I say when I go to the gym, I treat it like a doctor's appointment. I wouldn't miss my doctor's appointment, so I'm not going to miss my workout. That's going to help you really like look at workouts as different versus something that's like, well, I can miss today. What's the difference? It makes a big difference. I promise you. You want to keep showing up. Don't wait for motivation. Design systems that make showing up easier and automatic. So that's why I'm saying enjoy your workouts. Like create a really fun system and don't let yourself out talk yourself. So if you want to work out in the morning, lay your clothes out, get your water bottle ready, have some form of, if you like caffeine, pre-workout, coffee, whatever it is, get your playlist going, AirPods, whatever it may be charged, get to the gym and enjoy it. Okay, enjoy yourself. Don't make systems that make you not want to show up. We got to make it easier for ourselves. Okay, so now we are at the end of what I had planned for y'all, and really the biggest focus for this first week. We have a chat open, so if you want to ask anything about the nutrition, fitness, mindset, what we're doing here, any questions you have as you're getting started, now is the time that I'm opening it up. And of course, if you have questions that come in throughout the week, please message me through Everfit. That's going to be our main form of communication. A lot of y'all have my number, which I love. You're welcome to also text me, but I would prefer Everfit because all your stuff's going to be in there. So I'm able to really like pull your page up and say, okay, she's got her workouts in. Okay, she left a comment about her leg day. Okay, let's do something different here. She's got a question on her meal for the day. Perfect. I see she's tracking. And like I said, I am watching and making sure everyone's staying accountable. And after tonight, I'm going to send a message out with our replay of asking y'all what your habit is. And I'm going to reach out to y'all individually through the app and just say, hey, what's your habit? And we're going to add it in there. Okay, so make it as small, make it as big as you'd like. It's going in there, so really use it's almost at the top of the hour, so use the next hour to really kind of soak up everything we said because I'm a yapper, so I talk a lot. So digest everything I said. The replay will be sent out. So if there is a component of this call that you're like, I need to revisit that part, you'll have that and you'll get to use that. But I want to make sure that we're leaving our call today with a really clear mind and understanding that the next 6 weeks are your 6 weeks. They are 6 weeks that you've committed to me, and I'm committing back to you in every way, in every capacity, to make sure that you're leaving this 6 weeks and you're feeling really good. You've achieved the goals that you've set out, and just recognizing that wellness is a spectrum. So you can accomplish many things. It's not just weight loss. You can accomplish learning how to make food taste good. You can accomplish having a routine set. You can accomplish building confidence. Those are all major wins, and we do not mitigate any of those for any reason. So that's what I have for today. Any last minute questions coming in? Anything I can touch on that you have questions on? If not, I'll give y'all a little bit of time back and we'll get the replay sent out and get y'all started for this week. I'm very excited. New Year's is here. I can't believe it. I can't believe New Year's is here. I don't know about y'all, but I am ready to walk in. I've never felt this excited for a New Year's. I feel really excited. And I want y'all to feel excited too, because the whole goal with this challenge is for you to have a plan walking in the new year and not feeling that pressure of like, well, what do I start with? What do I do first? How do I do all this? I got you. Okay. We're doing this together. I'm doing this with you too. Like I'm doing the workouts, I'm doing the habits, and I'm going to talk about them every week of like, hey, here's what I did this week. Here's how many times I worked out. Here's what I meal planned. Here's what I'm gonna meal plan next week. Here's how I work through different social events. I'm going to be going out of town for a week during this challenge, so I'll get to teach y'all and navigate what traveling looks like on a plan. But yeah, guys, I'm super excited. Think that's all I had, just some of my information, but definitely message me with some of the questions you have. I'll reach out to y'all for the habits that we're going to be doing, but I appreciate y'all's time today. I'm very excited to get started. Thank you all for being in this challenge together. I'm very excited to just host this woman group together and again, just get you feeling where you want to be in 6 weeks. You get to have this routine, this structure to take you the distance. So repos will be sent out, message going out later. If you have different questions, just let me know. But I will talk to y'all in just a little bit. Thank you everyone for your time today.